And back at Mount Panorama, quite a deal of interest as far as the spectators are concerned, and particularly Peter Brock fans, because Brocky is continuing to pick up Roberto Ravaglia at 2 seconds a lap. And Ravaglia at the same time is picking up 2 seconds a lap, of course, on the race leader, John Goss. Just look at Brocky putting in the big ones now.
I think it's one BMW coming up as far as Peter Brock's concerned. Wasting a bit of time there, waving his hand at a slower driver. He'll be concentrating on passing the ones in front of him, worrying about the ones that he's just got by. But he's definitely got Ravaglia in sight, and it'll only be a couple of laps. Whether he can take back the lead Jaguar is questionable.
Here's a bare 2.5 seconds now between Ravaglia and Brock, and only 37 seconds between Goss and Ravaglia, so it's closing right up at the head of the field.
It's a possibility. Yes.
Well, the gaps between first to second to third we've already been giving you throughout the day, but that's a 2-second break.
14 laps to go. Anything can happen.
Here comes the 21 car, followed by Brock with a couple of vehicles between them, including Jimmy Richards. Brock looking for a way through. There's the orange BMW, whips into Mountain Straight. Brock's got by and is now out in hot pursuit.
He's not fooling around. No, he took some chances there under brakes, and I think Jim gave him a little bit of courtesy there. Decent driver, as he's always been. No prizes for holding somebody up that's lapping you. But Peter's definitely got this BMW in his sights.
There's our chart showing number 10, 21 and 5 all running on the same lap. Back behind them, down, Jim Richards in number 1, and then of course Tom Walkinshaw, who led this race for so long, back to the 1:45 mark. So it's even Stevens at the front of the field, 2 seconds from first to second, 2 seconds from second to third, and they're closing up all the time.
Boy, the pace is getting frantic. The gaps are closing all the time. This is a real panorama drama.
Well, Bob Jane's a pretty good showman. But I tell you what, he'll need Roberto Ravaglia to pick up 3 seconds a lap, and then it'll be a dead heat.
The mountain crowd are cheering Peter Brock along, and he's cheering himself along there. The grip of the Pirelli tires there, and under brakes, whipping him around. He's not fooling around. Very fit. Peter's mentally ready for this race. I think he practices for it every day. And when it gets here, it's no chore for him.
Here's the Brock crew. They're all sitting there staring. They want their boy. And he is closing on Roberto Ravaglia. And here he comes from behind. No front windscreen, no rear windscreen. Air-conditioned mountain racing for Peter Brock as he storms down the outside. And the Brock crew are quite elated. Peter Brock now moving up on the scoreboard and takes Roberto Ravaglia. He now moves to second. Ravaglia is coming back though on the inside. But Brock goes through. He's up to second.
Good brakes on these Commodores, and Peter not afraid to use them. Here's Jim coming up to say, I've got a BMW as well.
Guess who's lurking in the background with the headlights blaring? That JRA Jaguar, that's Tom Walkinshaw trying to pull back. He's down about 2 3/4 laps on the leading car. But obviously everything's working well for him.
Michael, by the clock, there is exactly the length of Conrod Straight between the leader, John Goss, and 05 Peter Brock.
Okay, and there's going to be another Jag in between the lead one and the Commodore before long. I think we'll have a little interference play here.
Coming up into GTX, it was almost detected a wisp of something out of Brock's car.